Welcome to the long-awaited return of Fallout 4's Can You Beat series, where I return with me and the very battered and beaten Ginger here. I modeled Ginger after two very attractive women that I found out there with their body size and composition, and then I started my journey to be the lucky, intellectual, charming scientist. 9 in charisma, 7 in intelligence, and 8 in luck. Everything else was ones across the board, which actually came to bite me in the ass. Now I want to talk about two kind of things real quick. There's a perk out there called the Intellectual Slut. It does the same thing as Idiot Savant, it just does it with your intelligence. So I thought I might go ahead and make a different one, because intelligence doesn't do anything in this game. Even if you are really stupid, you don't have the cool things like Fallout 3 does. Now, me and my infinite wisdom, I decided to blow myself up here by throwing it into one of 3 poles that was right in front of me, which was fantastic. Went ahead and reloaded the game and found my first level fare with the M4A1. Now, yes, the gun is pink. I didn't download the correct texture mod for it. It is actually pink, but once I downloaded the texture mod, things became a little bit more better, and I was able to craft and use the gun a little bit more effectively. Now, one thing I want to talk about here is, as you've noticed, everything is very feminine and attractive, as I downloaded a bunch of mods for it because I thought it'd be fun to play through it once. Now, this was my first find of a legendary item or a legendary gun right away in the beginning. I didn't know this is where the Scar H can be found. Now, I want to talk about an M16 that I did find a little bit later on that also has a legendary item attached to it. That legendary item, which is actually going to show up now, says that increased damage after each consecutive hit on the same target. The gun fires a 3-round burst. Now, mind you, I basically ranked up to level 22 really quick, really fast when I started the Courser mission, and that's why the gun seems a little overpowered. It's not only because I leveled it up fast, I leveled it up real quick as well, too, as it has that little legendary effect on it. Now, we're going to go travel back in time here while I meet Wolfgang, and this is not the first time I'm going to meet him. Tell him to put his guns down because he's waving it in my face and I didn't like it. So I got that challenge. Told him that he needed to give me all of his money because I'm in a power armor suit. Who wouldn't just want to do that? And then I told him to get lost, which is weird because he tells me that he'll pay 100 caps to get rid of what's-her-name, and he only has 49 caps to begin with. Now, what's interesting is that once you travel to Good Neighbor, they're chilling out in the front of Good Neighbor and then they don't leave. So told them off, got them out of the hair, and I realized that charisma is going to be fun. Now, here's that same M4 that I've kind of been lurking at here. Finally got the textures right, and this is where I started kind of my magical journey. Now, what's interesting is that when you first talk to Danny Sullivan, if you go over to him real quick, real fast, if you pass the first speech check, let him know that you weren't lying, he gives you 50 caps, and I passed the speech check, which is great. Well, then Piper and McDonough pull you into a conversation, and then, you convince McDonough to tell you who can help me. So I passed that speech check with flawless awesomeness, reached level 6, and then what's interesting is that if you head back on over to Donnie, you can pass the other speech check. Now, these were just a random magazine mod that I found. I thought the cover art was cool, so I'm going to kind of show you the few that I find as I'm scrubbing and editing through the video. Skinny Malone told me to get out of there after passing the speech check, but I don't really care for Skinny, so I ended up burning him to a crisp after pumping 2 rounds into him there. And there's a reason why I'm covering up the idiot's. I'm going to tell you right now that I was a horn dog through this playthrough. There were a lot of, I don't want to call them kawaii mods, but there were a lot of very, very slutty, very, very slutty mods that I had on. Ended up jumping into a river here, found a fishing pole, found some squirrel bits, tried to take a fish head for some reason. Got attacked by a dog, hit him with my gun, killed him, because, getting punched in the face by power armor should really hurt and damage somebody more. I don't know why Dog Meat tried to, drop kick him there. But my health was lower. If you kind of go back and rewatch it, my health just slowly went down. Now, there were a couple moments in time in this game where, Dog Meat bit him, and that ruined his day. But it was funny because I noticed my health would drain really, really fast, and I'd be in a predicament. Now, this is interesting because McDonough is actually a synth if you finish the game and run back up to it. So I told him he was a kidnapper, And he must have known that he was working with the Institute because McDonough is a synth himself at the end. Tried to record in 4K while I was not playing on 4K, so messed up that. Ended up coming back and doing, correctly reloading into the right location, because I thought I'd try a little bit of 4K video to throw it up there. Didn't realize how much it would come to it. Found art actually out and about here. Typically, you don't find art until you go rescue the first synth. Ended up killing Art that was holding the dude hostage. Had a moral dilemma to figure out which one was actually the synth. So I quick saved. Killed Art, the other Art. Found out, no, that one was the synth. So I let the synth live. And I decided, well, forget it. I killed both of them. That'll count as murder number 1, which will actually come back to play here in a little bit. Because apparently I think I did like 27 murders throughout the entire thing, which was absolutely hilarious. Continued on my journey there. Found another, the surgical journal, the Massachusetts one, with what looks like a female Wolverine. She was pretty dope. Like I said, the guy's artwork is phenomenal. You can find all my links down below of... I'll tell you exactly all the mods that I used, and it's the Tabo texture remod. So, got the stealth thing. Didn't go in very stealth when I decided to fight Kellogg, because I always bring Nikki Valentine along for this to help me get the big thing. Told him no mercy. Decided to drop a mini nuke on his head. Somehow I didn't get it damaged. But then again, I roamed around a lot. I really, really did roam around a lot in the power armor, I should say. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah, I roamed around a lot in the power armor. I don't know why. Decided to steal all of Kellogg's stuff as well as Kellogg's clothes. And then I pretty much wore Kellogg's uniform throughout the entire thing. Because when you have no points in strength, you can't upgrade your armor unless you find upgraded armor out there. Came outside after finding the NVG goggles that I always like to use, thinking that I would somehow be able to use them, even though I technically can't. Killed myself a legendary, found the glowing one, decided to reload for some reason halfway through. He throws that little thing out there. Now, I don't know if you know about this, but that actually resurrects everybody. As you can see, it resurrected all of the crazy ghouls around him. So that little burst not only resurrects, but it helps reload everybody's health out there. So I decided to blow up the car behind it. And then I decided to just let that car blow up too. Because, I mean, if I can't hit you with enough shotgun rounds, I'm just going to blow you up. And then I actually spent like another 20 minutes trying to find all the pieces that were blown up. Just had to reload a save during the day, which was actually a little bit easier to search. Came in here, found the other Massachusetts Surgical General of a very cool Android-looking mod there. Pay now, get better later, which was kind of cool. Again, like I said, these mods, the mods that transitioned these were really, really amazing. Ended up coming up here. Now, I am level 22 at this point. Decided to murk him with a little bit of Psycho Jet, and I pumped 3 rounds into him. Found the Courser chip. Decided to grab the Courser uniform that was upgraded, because again I downloaded a bunch of cool mods. Ended up giving Piper the mod. It's the new Courser armor. Gave her a real nice thick body, and I didn't realize this, but it does this for both men and women. The very exposed chest piece, the gamer thought, if you will, and so I made Piper a very attractive female. Had a nice loading screen right afterwards with these astoundingly awesome tails there with another cyberpunkish kind of look, and continued on about my business in the game here. Kind of came down here where I was helping Deacon out a little bit and got absolutely murdered by what I think is 2 legendaries and 2 regular synths, and realized not having my power armor might have been a little bit of a problem. Decided to record myself for an interview that I was having to be on another podcast, where I accidentally forgot to stop recording. And so I recorded that entire interview. So that's my beautiful face getting ready, because damn it, I wanted to play up into the last minute and play all the way through. Ended up coming over here, talking to this other synth guy here. You could see it. It gives it that very open 80s thought chest. Told him to watch his tone as he spoke to me. And then I told him that he needed to hand over all of his grenades. And then he gave me all of his grenades. And I said, and then he gave me all of his grenades. And then he decided to give me all of his grenades after a little bit of extra persuasion. Ended up pumping a few rounds into him. Went off, defended the Brotherhood of Steel, killed all the synths, and rescued the synths that were down below. Father told me he couldn't imagine why all the synths got escaped, and he didn't know that I was working with the railroad, even though I think the decals on my power armor are actually all railroad, or they are Brotherhood of Steel. I can't really remember. Ended up finding a good use for the synths here, because, you know, you got to do all these missions before you can free all the synths and continue on with the railroad mission. So I got like 13 synth relay grenades, popped all like 13 grenades, and then went and got the beryllium agitator. Once I came back out, I popped a couple more grenades because I thought that'd be the good thing to do. And I'm not gonna lie, this is probably one of the smartest things in the world here, because when you continue on the storyline, you got to do a couple missions for Father. But I found that it was really nice and easy because you can just let the synths take care of the sentry bots and everybody else here. Now, this is the part that I wanted to talk a little bit about here, because the Assaultrons... Oh, excuse me. The Assaultrons that are coming up here. Now, this is where you're going to notice that it's like super, super easy to take care of them, because I pretty much pop Psycho Jet. Anytime I know that a hard area is kind of coming, I always pop some Psycho Jet. And as you can see there, it pretty much takes, you know, I pump 3 rounds, not 3 rounds, but I pump 3 volleys. So 369. I pump 9 shots into each one of those Assaultrons. Now, those Assaultrons are supposed to be very hard to kill. And yeah, that's just what I do. I pump a bunch into them and I kill them off. Now, this is where I decided to do something a tad bit differente here. Now, I remember I actually paid attention, listened to Deacon, and I am over encumbered here. But Deacon said that if I put on the Brotherhood of Steel uniform, they shouldn't notice me. So I took off all of my armor, told Nick to stay his lovely ass outside, put on the Brotherhood of Steel armor, and even with the Pit Boy on my arm and the Brotherhood of Steel have never seen me, never heard of me before, I somehow got to just walk through this entire thing, and I passed every charisma check that was out there. It was the first time ever that, like, I knew that this was an option. Because, I mean, the vast majority of the time when you become an enemy of the Brotherhood of Steel, like, they attack you on sight. And I never really paid attention to well, I'm not going to lie. A lot of times when I fight the Brotherhood of Steel, I'm actually with the Minutemen because I hate the railroad. But I reverse pickpocketed or reverse stole a bunch of weapons that I didn't use to get underweight. And then I ran through the Pridwin and was able to successfully plant all of the... successfully plant everything. I just thought it was interesting because of the simple fact that, like I said, I've never seen a brother... Like, I didn't know that this was a thing. So, went ahead and waited for him to come around. Decided to sneak through here, and I had my first inquisition from Proctor Quinlan, where he was asking about his stuff on the Claymore. And like I said, this is the first time I've ever done this, so I kind of let it play out here. And so I told him that it was I'd bring the package to him later because it was the easiest skill check. I got the okay on it. He was like, cool. Now, mind you, I had like 3 points in Black Widow as well too. Quick saved because it was like, oh, I did whatever. Placed the first charge. The Brotherhood squad was like, stop, this is a restricted area. You shouldn't be up here. And I told him that it was a routine inspection. And then he was like, oh, nobody told me about an inspection. I told him it was a supplies inspection. And he told me that his crew is immaculate. And he told me to go ahead and look at it. Because I remember Deacon saying that if you just act like a pompous, entitled asshole, you could pretty much get through it. So that's where I was like, yeah, haven't you ever heard of a surprise inspection? And then I came across one of the most interesting things I thought I would ever come across here. I do have a mod on called Caliente's Beautiful Body Enhancement or whatever, which makes all the female bodies nudie. So came across this female initiate who was most definitely a child, but was wearing what is equivalent to a bathing suit, which I thought was absolutely completely odd. So there must have been some massive hazing going around, or I need to let Chris Hansen know that the Pridwin most definitely needs to be part of his next investigation. So I got out of there. And what was really interesting is that when I actually exited out of the Pridwin, I of course I quick saved here just because I was hoping that I could maybe, kill Father Max and take his battle armor or whatever, but I decided not to steal or not to do anything crazy. I didn't want to push my luck, to be honest with you. But it was weird because I get back out here and now I have to think, do I want to get into my power armor and save the one and only power armor I have, which actually has a unique chest piece, or do I leave it on there? And I decided that I was going to get back in it, which was weird because they saw me get out of the power armor and put everything on, and then they see me put the power armor on, and as soon as they put it on, they pretty much started to attack me, which was super, super weird. That I could get through the whole thing, and yeah, my game clipped there for a little bit. But I thought it was weird that they'll see me get out of the power armor, put on the Brotherhood of Steel uniform, and then they're like, oh, he put on the power armor and he's leaving right away? That's not suspicious at all. I don't know. It was just, overall, it was very weird and very awkward that that whole part was there. But to kind of bring forth everything, I just wanted to show you the beauty of what Fallout 4 can look like without all the HUDs and everything else like that, which is a way that I think I might want to try to play the game in the future, where I have absolutely nothing. I have no HUD, no anything like that. The only time I have anything is where it gives me the speech options to choose the speech. That might be a very difficult way to play the game. I'd be interested to try that. But yeah, can you beat Fallout 4 is what I call the egghead? Yeah. I did have 40 successful persuasion attempts. I only collected 3 bobbleheads, which was interesting because I downloaded a mod for all the very thought-ish. It was basically the gamer thought from Twitch in bobblehead form, which was really kind of odd. I only killed 98 synths. One of the big things there was I had 30 sneak attacks, which I'm really not big on sneak attacks. 15 actual robot kills. I killed 250 creatures, which was pretty cool. These are just some kind of stats that I like to throw your way. I did end up finish the game at level 35 and picked 46 locks, hacked 3 computers, and I murdered 27 people, which I thought was weird because I thought I only murdered 2 or 3 people, so that was interesting. But to answer your question, can you beat Fallout 4 as an egghead who is charismatic and super lucky? Why, yes. Yes, you can beat Fallout 4. Stay tuned for the next episode of the Can You Beat series, where I try to find other interesting and dumb ways to beat the Fallout 4 series. It's been an absolute pleasure hanging out with you. It's been an absolute pleasure just hanging around you and staying on here for your favorite channel. So I love your faces, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Maybe next week? Not sure. These episodes are a little hard to get in the groove and to play, because a lot of these playthroughs take about 15 to 20 hours, and it's just hard to do that with a normal job. But I appreciate you guys for watching and sticking with me. I love all your faces, and I'll talk with you guys on the next episode.